If you've ever come home too tired to do anything except fall into your bed, and you've said to yourself, if I can just make it through tomorrow, if I can just get to Friday, if I can just make it through this year, if I can just make it through this month, then you are living your life in survival mode. So often as single parents, that's what we're doing. We're living our lives in survival mode. We're doing all we can just to make it until the next minute, until the next moment, and we're not living life to our fullest. What we're doing is doing just enough to get by because we feel like we have to survive. Today, I want to talk to us as single moms about what we can do to shift out of the survival mode and into a mode of living our life in prosperity and growth and being the best us that we can be. When we talk about being in survival mode, we need to talk about the ways in which we get out of survival mode. Believe it or not, we're not going to prosper as women, as single moms, until we do get out of survival mode. That means shifting our old mindsets. That means shifting our beliefs, shifting all the things to fit where we are. And one of the ways we're going to get out of survival mode is by creating a realistic routine and sticking to that routine. How can we create a realistic routine? We create a realistic routine when we set goals or when we decide that what we're doing is something that's going to enrich us and help propel us towards what our goal is for today. That means starting your day off a little early or staying up just a little bit late to prepare for the next day. But we want to do something that is, as I said, realistic because we are single moms. We do have children that are at home that need us. Another way that we're going to do that is we're going to use time blocking. We're going to block off time in which to get our things done. I've talked about time blocking before, and there are a lot of videos out there that tell you how you can block your time off so you can get all the tasks done that you need to do. In essence, what time blocking is you setting aside so much time to do a particular task and do all the things that are related to that one task. So if I'm grading papers, hypothetically speaking, as a teacher, I can say that if I'm grading papers, then I'm going to grade all of the papers for 20 minutes. So I'm going to grade all the papers for 30 minutes. I'm going to grade all of the first set of papers within that 20-minute block. And then the next 20 or 30 minutes, I'm going to move on to something else. But I'm using time blocking as a way to ensure that I get done what I need to get done and as a way to help me focus. And I'll tell you something about me. I have ADHD. And if you have been around this podcast any amount of time, then you know I have ADHD. And one of the things that I have to do to keep me focused, I have to time block and I have to put a timer on to keep me on track. I have to put the timer on and let the timer go off. If I don't, I will get lost. As I was telling my sister this morning before I came out of the house, I said, I have to make sure that I have a set time in which I'm going to do things. I said, I need structure. I can't work well at home. I can't function when I don't have structure. A lot of people are like that. Time blocking actually works. If you need to set an alarm to help keep you on track, then set that alarm. Do whatever it is you need to do in order to keep you on task. That's going to help you to get out of survival mode. So you're not scrambling all morning or all day trying to figure out what you're supposed to be doing, how you're going to do it, and what you're going to do. When you use time blocking, you're going to block some time off for yourself. You're going to block the time off for those activities in which you enjoy. It's an unfortunate fact that as single mom, as women, one of the things we don't do is prioritize our self-care. We spend so much time doing for other people. We spend so much time trying to make sure that everyone else have everything together that we neglect ourselves. And as we're moving out of survival mode, then that's not something we're going to do. I'm always talking about having a prosperity mindset. I'm always talking about having a growth mindset. Now, we're going to grow as women. One of the ways in which we're going to grow is we're going to have to stop putting ourselves last and start focusing on the things in which we need. I remember the saying goes, when you fly on the plane, I always tell you to put your air mask on first and then put your child's on. Well, there's a reason they tell you that. Because as they say, if you have passed out, then both you and your child are going to be, there's going to be a problem. It would make more sense for you to put your air mask on and then help your child. Because you are the adult and you know how to manage more than a kid does. I know as moms, one of the first things we want to do is go save our baby. save yourself so you can save the baby, okay? We have to begin to practice that self-care. We have to begin to prioritize ourselves. We have to set time aside to do the things we need to do to propel us into the future in which we need. So we are going to make sure that we have blocked off us some time, because we're talking about getting out of survival mode, which means doing just enough to make it. We got to get through this. We got to get through that. But we don't ever get to the point where we are important, where we are a priority. I was talking to my sister yesterday, and she was talking about how she didn't have time to watch any of the videos I sent her. She hadn't had time to read the book she wanted to read. She hadn't had time to do it. I said, you know what? I'm going to tell you like you tell me. And she tells me this all the time. You make time for what's important. And you're never going to prosper. You're never going to do any better if you don't set a time aside for you to do the things that you need to do to get your business up and running, to get you settled, to get you focused, instead of just focusing on what your child needs or what your job needs or your partner, whoever it is. You have to set aside some time for you. So when you're doing your time blocking, make sure you schedule in some time for rest and relaxation, for self-care, for planning and working on your business. Because as women who are prospering, as women who are showing growth, then that's some of the things that we're doing. We're working on the things that are going to propel us into the future in which we need to have financially, so that we can get out of survival mode. Set up some systems. We have to have systems in place to help us get to where we're trying to go. You have to have those systems. You can't function without them. Trust me, I tried to function without my support systems this year. It didn't work. I tried to function without my systems, with the way I run what I do, my career. It didn't work. You have to have systems in place. You're going to be more successful when you have your systems together. You're going to have your support system, and you're going to have your system in which the way in which you do things that you do, your daily activities that pertain to your business or with raising your child. Because as single moms, we're so guilty of, we're so busy. We just fly by the seat of our pants. We're just doing. We're doing so much. We are getting into that, as they say, masculine personality, and we're letting the feminine part of ourselves go. And we can't do that. We have to remember that we need to be our best selves. Anybody to mom shame you. Don't allow them to do it. Don't let people make you feel guilty about being a working mom. Don't let people make you feel guilty because you have to get a babysitter. Don't let people make you feel guilty because you need some time for you. You do what you need to do to survive. Nothing wrong with asking for help. And that's going to be my next suggestion, is ask for help. Get somebody to help you watch your kids so that you can have that time you need in order to focus on you and the things that you are trying to do. I know I'm going to get some flack for this, but we have to invest in ourselves. We're always talking about saving money, saving this, saving that. Pay your bills off first, and then you can do some investing. Pay your bills off, and then you can go on that vacation. However, I'm of the new philosophy where you have to invest in you first. If you wait till you pay your bills off as a single mom or single mom who's living in survival mode, you're not going to do anything. You're never going to make the extra money. You're never going to have time to do what you want. And you have to invest in yourself and in the things in which you are trying to accomplish, or you will never accomplish them. So as part of getting out of survival mode, you have to know when to take time to invest in yourself. Revisit your why. Know what you want and begin to work towards that. What's important to you, as my sister says, you make time for it. So as single moms, who have been living in survival mode, one of the things you have to do is remind yourself of your bigger goal, your bigger dream. And I know we all know those moms who put off going to college, who put off their dreams so their children can have them. There's nothing wrong with that, but what I'm telling you today is let's not live our lives in survival mode. Let's not live our lives waiting on the day when our children leave the nest and when we can go back and live our dreams. Let's work towards living our dreams now. Let's work towards being the best mom we can, being the best us we can, and getting out of survival mode. And that's one of the best things we're going to do for our children. Thank you guys so much for listening. It's been a wonderful series with Hey Sister by 2